Hey guys, it's Daniel here,
And Jordan.
and we're coming to you guys to do something a little more serious, long distance relationships. So, starting now. Jordan's gonna start out.
Yeah. We know a lot of you are currently facing long distance relationships because of what's occurring in our world today with the coronavirus and the stay-at-home orders. But for us, this is not something new. We do long distance while we're at college. I leave for school and he stays home and commutes to college. So we are about an hour away. That may not seem like a long distance relationship, but it is. It still has the same challenges of it. I don't have the glory of getting to see him every day, or even the option of getting to see him every day, which to me suffices as a long distance relationship. So I know many of you are probably going through that right now, and you're probably like 5, 10, 15 minutes away from each other and can't see each other. And we just wanted to shed some light and give some advice from what we've heard and what we've tried to maybe make it easier. So the first thing that a lot of people have told us, and it's just sort of common in any relationship, but especially a long distance relationship, it's extremely important to communicate your expectations. It's very easy to reach a point of miscommunication, and a lot of times it's because you did not clearly communicate your expectations. So yeah.
That also looks like laying out what you expect in certain situations. So communication is a big thing. So if one person is expecting to hear from you every day, every second of the day, and you're expecting to be able to do your work and everything, and you can't text them or FaceTime or whatever you got every second of the day, obviously that's not realistic for you. So you have to tell them, like, hey, this is the time I'm free, these days are when I'm free, maybe you're free every other day, so you make times then. And just laying out like what you can and can't do in certain things, and willing to come to a conclusion or middle ground on that, so that way you can you both feel good about what you have. It's definitely not going to be the best, and it's definitely going to be hard, but I know for Jordan, like, she wants me to text her every single day, every second of the day, and I don't like texting a lot or like doing anything like non-face-to-face, so it's very difficult for me to just like take time out and like text her or just remember to do something. It's kind of hard for us to do that, and we've been struggling with that a lot it's just a big thing. So
yeah, it's hard to get a handle of.
Yeah, it's never going to be easy,
and it's never going to be perfect.
Yeah,
and every day is going to be different. So like, you may sit down and you may make a schedule, but then something's going to come up, and that's when it's important just to communicate when those things come up, so that you can work around that.
Mm-hmm.
Second, it's important to just have intentionality, which also it's important to have intentionality when you're dating or when you're in a relationship, but it's just important to make sure that what you're doing, you have intentions behind them.
It's more just like the intentionality just kind of means like you're thinking about doing that thing. So like you're making an effort, like I would be making an effort to text Jordan. Mm-hmm. That's my intentionality. Her intentionality may be like, oh, I see he's struggling with this thing, let me try to help him, kind of thing.
Or like giving the person space if they need space.
Yeah, just like you're actively thinking about what you're doing for the to try to help the other person or like make a healthy relationship.
Yeah. And I found a Bible verse for intentionality. It's Ephesians 5:15-17. I'm reading now the NIV for anyone who watched the last video. I chose yours, not mine. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. So it's just important to be careful in what you do, be wise about what you do. And just remember that Lord has your hand in everything. So the Lord is taking care of you.
And it's very good to intentionality kind of equates to wisdom, because in a way wisdom you're taking into consideration everything, and like using God's word and praying about it is being very wise, and asking other people, it says in the Bible, asking other people and getting their advice, godly people, and thinking about that and praying is very wise to do. So being intentional about getting advice from other people or thinking about doing things is very wise.
Yes. The next thing I have on the list is just to communicate in general. You're long distance, so you literally aren't going to be able to see each other unless you go out to see the person. So the only way that you will see each other or will hear from each other is if you communicate. So the best way to do that is just to like pick which way you want to communicate and which way is your favorite. So like you like phone calls. You would much rather talk on the phone than you would text.
Yeah.
Maybe even FaceTime some days. So it's just important to like communicate with your partner which ways you like to communicate, but then decide which ways are best for you guys to communicate. So I know a lot of times when I was at school, you would call me when you were on your way home from work, and I would be on my way home from work. So we would talk like the 20-25 minutes that we were in the car, and while I was walking to dinner and while he was making his dinner, and then that's when we would talk for the night.
And a little goes a long way. So like if you have like a lunch break or something every day, it's better kind of to like have a 20-minute talk every day than sometimes it is to have like an hour-long talk once a week. So, but sometimes you need that. So plan accordingly. Again, that links back to communicate your expectations. So if you guys are struggling or kind of getting angry with each other, it's good to link out like an hour or 2 hour to hash that out. So maybe that's like a weekend or something that you may have to take back your study time to, repair your relationship.
The next thing I have, it's important to still date.
Yes.
For us, we're fortunate enough to be able to see each other most weekends, depending on what we have in school and what I had sport-wise. But it was important to me to plan things out before you either came to school or before you came home. So like Saturday I would plan out something special, and then Sunday we would just chill and like do homework or something. But it just like gave me something to look forward to.
And they can be fun.
Dates can be fun.
They can be fun. Sometimes they're not, because you're kind of just doing that one thing for the other person.
But that's also important to do.
But yeah, you gotta make
sacrifices.
Sacrifices for the other person, and that's a big thing. But most of the time they are fun because you're both looking forward to hanging out with each other. So it's good to like find something you're both interested in and then capitalize on that for your dates.
I know too, for couples who don't have the luxury of seeing each other every weekend, or like right now how we're really not supposed to be leaving our houses, so you may not be allowed to see your significant other. I know people who do FaceTime dates, so they'll like either both order from the same restaurant and like sit down and eat their meals together, or like they'll cook their meals over FaceTime and eat together, or even Netflix has a feature that you can download where you can like stream a movie on both of your laptops or TVs, and then they have like a chat feature, or as of now you can Zoom movies. I know people are doing that. So just finding ways to like spend that special time together even if you aren't together. And that's going to look different for everyone. It's going to be all up to you and who you are as a couple and what you prefer. make adjustments.
Yeah.
It's not going to be perfect the first time you figure it out, nor is it going to be perfect the second, third, fourth, or fifth time. You're always going to have to be making adjustments because life changes.
Also, taste change as well.
Yeah.
So you may like this one brand of movie for a while, and then you're like, well, I don't feel like watching that movie. So you may have to make an adjustment of what you watch or something.
Or even like what you do, or how
Yeah.
much time you spend together. If it's not working for one person or the other person, like try to adjust it so that it better suits them.
Mm-hmm.
But you just want to make sure that it suits both of you. Have grace with the person.
Does grace look like patience?
Yeah. And being lenient. Having patience and being lenient and trying to understand where the other person is coming from. So like to me it will look like not nagging you all the time about not talking to me.
Mm-hmm. Grace, I think it's definitely defined in the Bible, I'm pretty sure.
I have a verse.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Well, let's read that first, and then I'll continue with what I say.
Okay, so the next one I have is Colossians 3:13. Bear with each other and forgive whatever grievances you may have against another person. Forgive as the Lord forgave you.
So forgiveness takes a lot of, like, stepping down from your high horse and kind of looking at it from their level. So grace kind of looks like whatever they're going through, it's trying to see it from their point of view. And I personally struggle with this a lot because I don't have empathy or something.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't have sympathy, empathy.
Yeah, so I'm
all
kind
of the
of
above.
it's hard for me to really step in other people's shoes unless I've been there before.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a hard time helping other people when I haven't been there before. So I try, in my way of showing grace, is trying to give them other outlets, other people, other outlets, or other information that they can look at. So that way they can, kind of find the help that they need that I can't give them.
Mm-hmm. I'm very empathetic, but I still struggle with grace.
Mm-hmm.
Just because what I'm learning in school is like how to do relationships 101, and it's hard to like construct that in my mind when it's a long distance relationship because not everything's going to be perfect and that person can't be there for you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like hard for me to, I don't know, take that and take what we're going through and put them together.
Mm-hmm.
So that I have a hard time, and I always just go to him and I'm like, well, my professor said this, and they have a doctorate, so like, they know what they're talking about. But every situation is different, so everything is going to look different for everybody. So it's just important to have grace on that person's.
Yeah, definitely long distance looks very different for everybody, but the feelings that everyone has are very similar. So there will be good days and there will be bad days. So everyone's gonna have that, no matter what, no matter long distance,
Mm-hmm.
no matter in a regular relationship, and no matter where you are, what you're doing. There's gonna be good days and bad days, and the bad days can be alleviated by. Bless you.
Sorry.
They can be alleviated by some of the things that we're saying.
But
Okay.
also, like with good days and bad days, you're gonna feel good on some days and you're gonna feel bad on some days. So there's gonna be days where you really miss the person, and there's gonna be days where you get really busy and you go your entire day and you think about the person, but you don't really think about
Mhm.
how much you miss them. So you're also gonna have days where it hurts more so than others. And I have 2 verses on why distance hurts and just why you should have hope for a long distance relationship. So I'll get into those. But I just think that this is like long distance is kind of cool in a way, which I know no one's ever going to agree with me, and most days I also don't agree with myself. But just the fact that like you have someone that you love so much that it hurts that much to miss.
Mhm.
It's just like kind of a neat experience. Like I never thought that I would be tied to someone and that it would literally just like physically hurt me to miss them. Like I think that it's an awful thing to experience, but also there's like good ways to look at it, and like there's ways to be thankful for the situation that you're going through. And I know we've personally grown a lot through our long distance, and like I clearly see why we weren't placed at the same college. So for me, it's easier to be like, well, I know why we're going through this, because God needed us to grow in this way before we could come together as one. But I just think, yes, long distance is hard and it's bad sometimes, and it's good sometimes. But there's there's like a good outlook to look at it, and it is sort of a blessing for people. The first verse I have says, it was more so saying why distance hurts, and that's Proverbs 13:12. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life. So basically what I'm saying, how you have something that means so much to you that it hurts you, and that's why Romans 8:18, which is just like an outlook on hope. I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. So to me, a lot that gets me through is just thinking like what our life is going to be like once we've gone through long distance and we finished it and we've beat the battle, to say.
I mean, with the long distance thing going out the wayside, obviously there's going to be other problems that are going to fill that void. So, but to make it not seem as gloomy, the long relationship, distance relationship really helps with like bonding you two together, because it's kind of weird how it works, because the further you are apart, kind of the closer you kind of get, because if you truly love the person, you're going to try your best to get closer to them, and the only way you can do that is by building a bigger relationship, rather than like if you're together, you might just like build your physical relationship together, which isn't necessarily a good thing. And then when you're further apart, you can only really do a couple of things and talk, get to know each other more, you know, like have kind of virtual dates and stuff. So you only get to know the person better rather than getting further apart.